Hello everyone, welcome to the 170 Q&A practice. We're going to start off with a yes-no dictation. This focuses on the answer being yes or no. Okay, ready? Just so we are on the same page, let's go over this again. You first met John in December of 2000? Yes. And he moved in with you 2 months later? Yes. Was he working at that time? Yes, he was. Do you remember where he was working? No. But you are sure that he was working? Yes. Okay, did he help you to pay the rent and bills for your house? Yes, he did. Did he help you to pay for food? Yes. Was there ever a time when he didn't pay you? No, I don't think so. He was never late in paying you? No. You never had any problems along those lines? No. Was he a good roommate? Yes. Kept the house clean? Yes. Did he invite people over to the home? Yes. On many occasions? No, not really. Maybe 3 or 4 times, if that. Did he keep to himself? No. You guys talked, did things together? Yes. Did you invite him to a party? Yes. Do you know when that was? Yes. When was that? It was in April. What kind of party was this? Easter party? Birthday? Yes, birthday. Okay, was he polite and friendly there? Yes, he was always very polite. You are aware of the crimes that he is charged with, aren't you? Yes, I am. Do you feel that he could have committed them? No. Why is that? He wouldn't hurt a fly. Did you ever know him to be angry? No. Ever see him yell? No. Ever see him fight anyone? No. Always calm? Yes. Even-tempered? Yes. Was he ever agitated? Yes, once when his credit card was stolen. Okay, but other than that, always in a good mood? Yes. Okay, we'll switch to for voice. Here we go. Showing you a letter, Mrs. Carter, dated April 21, 2013. Do you recognize the signatures on the bottom of that letter? Yes, I do. And whose signatures are those? My mother, Sarah Bailey, and my father, James Bailey. Okay. Now, Your Honor, may counsel stipulate that the letter which I have shown to the witness is identical to the letter marked C? A stipulation, counsel, that this copy is the same as the copy that you have identified. Yes. I have no objection, Your Honor. All right. Mrs. Carter, do you recall purchasing a condominium in Virginia Beach on or about April of 2013? Yes, sir. And did you receive monies from your mother and father towards the purchase price of that condominium? Yes, I did. Did you have an agreement with either your mother or your father to the effect that they would acquire an interest in ownership in that condominium? Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike. Motion granted. At the time that the money was given to you to acquire the condominium, did you have conversations with your mother and father? Yes, we did. And would you please tell us what those conversations were? Your Honor, I would only ask counsel before the witness gets into this to please identify the place, time, etc. of these conversations. What was the first conversation you had with Sarah and James Bailey? Do you mean about purchasing or after we purchased the condominium? I'm sorry, I'm not clear on your question. Prior to the purchase. Prior to the purchase. I believe it was sometime in the winter they had seen it. Winter of what year? 2013. They decided to move to Virginia and retire near me. And did they have any conversation following that one? Then they came to Virginia for a visit. I believe it was January or February of 2013. And at that time, we talked about their move to Virginia. And did you have any conversations with Sarah or James Bailey concerning where they would live? Yes. And did any of those conversations concern the condominium in Virginia Beach? Yes, it did. And can you tell us in terms of which came first in time, when the first conversation occurred? My husband knew we wanted to purchase that condominium. Mrs. Carter, please respond to the question that I'm asking you. When did that first conversation occur? I believe it was February of 2013. And did you have a conversation with either James or Sarah Bailey concerning the purchase price of the condominium? Yes. Will you recite to us the substance of that conversation? Yes, in February of 2013, we discussed the matter. It would have been in my home that we would have discussed it. We had seen the condominium, and my husband and I wanted to purchase it. Tell us approximately what was discussed. Well, I would have said to them that we needed a certain dollar amount to purchase it. They said yes, they wanted to live there. I said, would they give us the money? Did you have any further conversations with either James or Sarah Bailey concerning the dollar amount of the condominium? Not after that, no. And in that conversation that you had with Sarah and James Bailey, did either of them tell you that by giving you the money, they would be acquiring an interest in the property? Objection leading the witness. Move to strike. Overruled. Please answer the question. No, they did not have an interest in that condominium. They never had an interest in that condominium. No, that wasn't the question. Ask me the question again, please. I don't understand. Okay. Would you please rephrase the question? It was a rather leading question, which I allowed her to answer. Can you remember any of the terms or substance of that conversation? No, that was it, you know. We said how much we needed, and they said yes, and that was the conversation. Were you aware they sold their home in Lansing, Michigan? No, I wasn't aware of it at that point. Did you subsequently become aware of it? Yes. And did James or Sarah tell you anything with respect to what or where they intended to live out of the rest of their lives? Objection, Your Honor. Leading. Sustained. Mrs. Carter, you were present in court during the testimony of James and Sarah Bailey? Yes, I was. Did you, at this time in the summer of 2013, talk with your father, James Bailey? Yes, I did. Concerning the condominium? Not concerning the condominium. Did you ever tell James Bailey that the condominium would be divided between yourself and Sarah Bailey? No, I did not. Do you recall James Bailey testifying that there were two conversations which occurred in the summer of 2013? Yes, I recall him saying that. Did you ever have either of those conversations with James Bailey as he recited them to the court? No, I don't. Okay, we've got a few more minutes. I'm going to switch transcripts back to this doctor's testimony. This will be defense. Was this opinion based upon the history you had taken from Mr. Johnson? Yes. And the facts that he had given to you? Yes. And was it also based upon the other facts that you had with regard to the police reports? All the facts that I knew, yes. Now, doctor, with regard to Mr. Johnson firing this weapon at approximately 2:30 in the morning in a dwelling house, and with regard to him shooting at a police officer, and also with regard to Mr. Johnson killing a police officer, I wonder if you could tell us whether or not you have an opinion as to whether or not Mr. Johnson knew or understood the nature and quality of those acts. Well, it's very difficult to say. I think that at the time the episode began with his leaving the bar, that it appeared that he was in a psychotic state, and how long this continued, it's difficult to estimate. I would suggest that very likely he was not aware of the nature and quality of his act at the time he did the shooting. Would your opinion be that it would be more than likely that he was not aware of the leading question, Your Honor? Overruled. If I may finish. Pardon? I believe I got to the last part of that when counsel interrupted with his objection. Oh, I thought you had completed the question. You may complete it. Well, I objected that Mr. Stein was giving the opinion, and the answer was going to be either yes or no. The objection was overruled. Complete the question. Perhaps we could have it read back, Your Honor. Nature and quality of the acts that were committed. I would think that he was not. Could you give us any opinion with regard to any percentages as to your decision? Well, any percentages? Yes, or any conclusiveness as to your opinion? Well, it was basically the episode itself, the offense itself, and when it took place, apparently after drinking rather heavily, he became hallucinated, as he described it, and because of the sensory perception that he had of the devil, and so forth, he became delusional in that he felt the devil was going to harm his family somehow, and went home and did considerable damage in his home, which made no particular sense, and then continued his search for the devil or whatever outside, which he didn't recall in as far as he could relate to me, and the offense ensued in the course of his being apprehended. With the knowledge that he made these statements that I made to you precisely, such as, I'm sorry I shot these police officers, it doesn't mean anything to me anyway, I could have picked them off with a .22. Does the input of that fact, assuming that's a fact, doctor, the input of that fact, does it change your opinion in any way whatsoever with regard to Mr. Johnson's mental capacity to know or understand the nature or quality of that act? Well, the kind of difficulty from which he was suffering at the time is basically a time-limited one, and just when he would come out of it, you might say, is quite unpredictable. It may be that he was in a better condition to appreciate what happened at the time that this statement was made than before, and I don't think it alters my opinion particularly. Okay, that concludes our Q&A practice for the 170 class. Have a great day.